What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. It makes sense. Don't make sense. It don't make dollars. Today we're gonna talk about dollars. It just happens to make sense. I've got a lot of flack by some people, talking about, running that truck for cents. Blase. Well, listen, man. I'll tell you right now. I am the guy. I will break for a penny. I don't give a shit if that shit's on tails. I will break for a penny. I see a nickel, I'm gonna pick that shit up. I see a penny, I'm gonna pick that shit up. Unless it's in the damn urinal. I ain't picking that shit up. I don't need it that damn bad. But there's reason There's reason behind that. Now, we could go into the law of attraction, which I know a lot about. I've read lots of books on it. And we could talk about how what you focus on expands. We could talk about that. I believe in that shit. Or we could talk about the science behind it. There's something inside your brain. I can't remember. It's called the LCM. I don't remember what it's called. But scientifically proven, what you focus on, you actually notice more of. They say the brain is able to process up to, I don't remember the numbers, this has been a long time ago, but I'm thinking like thousands of things your brain is able to process every damn waking second of the day. Your brain processes everything that you see. But with your limited mind and concentration, you only notice 5 to 7, maybe 10 of it. So, let me give you an example. All right, so you're looking at a new car and you're like, man, I'm gonna get this new flashy colored Dodge Charger. I ain't never seen that one before. I'm gonna get that one. Have you ever noticed once you get that, you start seeing that motherfucker everywhere? And then you start questioning yourself. Everybody's copying me. Or it might be that until you recognized it for yourself, you didn't pay attention to the rest of them. They was already there. You just didn't ever notice it. Like I said, man, your brain, scientifically proven, the brain is only able to recognize a limited number of things that you see at any given point of the day. But your brain is capable of recognizing thousands. Everything you see, your brain is processing. But with your attention span, you're only processing 5 to 7 things at a time. So whenever you bring something new into your focus, like a shiny Dodge Charger, it's in your focus now, and it's one of those 5 to 7 things that you notice because you've got one, and now you see them everywhere. You don't believe me on that? Try this. Let's think of something that's pretty rare to see. Let's say an old Bronco 2. An old Bronco 2, one of those square bodies. You probably don't see a lot of them. But if you spend the next 2 or 3 days thinking about that Bronco 2, I guarantee you, I kiss your ass if you don't start seeing one, or at least 2, in a week. You're probably thinking, man, I ain't seen one of them in years. Oh, they've been out there, you just ain't noticed them. So, give it a shot. Either way, the evidence behind law of attraction, it works. The evidence behind the scientific point of that, it works. Either way, it works. I am that guy that will break for a penny. Because in my subconscious mind, I keep money in my focus. So if I keep money in my focus for a penny, don't you think I'd see other shit? It's just, it's just who I am. I break for a penny. If you don't break for a penny, cool. That's you. I'm me. Sorry I get off topic. I tell a lot of stories. Let's talk about investing today. A lot of people are always talking about investing, but nobody seems to do it. It's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. It's actually easier not to do. So people normally do the easiest thing. So it's out of sight, out of mind. So they don't do it. And with a lot of my examples, I'm gonna give you a story of my personal experience, because you know, teaching and learning's a lot better with stories, because it puts you in the driver's seat, so to speak, a little better than just a how-to. Back in 2007, when the economy went to shit, I was working for a company called Cook Foods. I was a feed hauler, hauled chicken feed, went back and forth to chicken farms around the tri-state area of Chattanooga, or just say Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. So, being in that industry, I heard about Pilgrim Pride. Now, Pilgrim Pride was going through, I think, Chapter 11, Chapter 13, anyway, they were going through fucking bankruptcy. And one of my buddies at work said, hey man, we need to get in the stock market. We need to buy some of Pilgrim Pride. He said, well, me and him got to talking about it, and we both kind of came to the conclusion. I'm like, man, they're too big to fail. You know what I'm saying? They're too big. When a company's that big, you're going to have investors come in, and then they're going to change their whole board, and they're going to try to turn that company around. And when a company on that level, the chances of them pulling through it is pretty good. But at the same time, a company going through bankruptcy is also pretty shady. So don't use this scenario with any company. I've lost on that too, and they basically just canceled all the stock and ordered new ones. But Pilgrim Pride went in, bought a couple $100 worth of this stock, and it was the first time I bought. It was 25 cents a share. Yep, 25 cents. At the time, the 52-week high, I think, was like $21, $22. And the 5-year high on the chart was like, I think about 35 maybe. Anyway, it's on up there. But now, you're up at $20, $30 mark, and now you're all the way down here at a little bitty 25 cents. So I bought a couple $100 worth, and that was, you know, I didn't have a lot of money at the time, or I would have bought a lot more. But I bought what I could. Bought it at 25 cents. A week or two went by, and I bought a couple $100 more at 20 cents. So I had equal part shares. So I had an average of 22.225 cents per share. And knowing now, I would have held on to it. I've regretted it. I should have held on to it, because I can't remember if it was 1,100 shares, 1,500 shares, 2,000 shares. Man, that's been a long time ago. That's been 10 years ago. But I do know when I sold it for $3,000. So I remember the money. I told you, I remember the money. Anyway, I bought all those shares. I had an average investment of 0.225, so 22.5 cents per share. When that shit got to $2, I sold it. Now, fast forward 10 years. The other day when I looked at it, when I was putting one of my boys up on it and putting them up on a stock brokerage, it was like $35 a share. I thought, goodness. I think one time it reached like $38 a share that I'd seen. It just made me sick to my stomach, because I had all these shares with basically pennies on a dollar investment, and now they're $30-something, $40 a share. I mean, just with what I would have had, I'd probably been sitting on about $30,000. So it kind of makes me sick to my stomach. And also, if I could have went back then, I would have put the rent off, I'd put the car payment off. I told ex-old lady with child support, I said, hell no, I ain't giving you nothing. Buy this stock. I'd have got all I could, because I'd have been sitting on a lot of money right now. Man, oh man, if we could just go back in time and redo things. But anyway, I got in the game back in 2007, and since then I've played with it on and off. And let me warn you, it is addictive. You think some people like to go to Vegas, some people like to play poker, some people like to, you know, whatever your advice is on gambling, lottery tickets. See, I don't get off on none of that shit. I walked in Caesar's Palace when I was 22 years old. Walked in, took a $20 bill, stuck it into a slot machine, and I went click, 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 boom, zero balance. I was like, well, I've done it. My brother said, what? I said, I've gambled in Vegas. Let's go. I don't have no luck there. Playing cards with friends, and I like that shit. That's good times. You know, a couple beers. Who am I kidding? 12-pack of beers, playing cards. That's fun. Lottery tickets, I don't do it. It's a waste of money. But researching a company and trying to find a penny stock, oh man, that shit's fun. It's just fun. But with that being said, I don't recommend you do that because I've been playing with it for years and I ain't made no damn fortune. So we're going to talk about investment, the shit that works, and that's what I do now. And unless I find a damn good penny stock, if you don't know what a penny stock is, it's a new company. They don't have a lot of restrictions on them. They're not on the NASDAQ. They're not on the New York Stock Exchange. They got the minimum requirements to become a public company and get funding from outside investors. But it's high risk. High risk. So if you might want to just do a little reading up on this before you actually get into the game. There's a lot of risk on penny stocks. I know I just jumbled around right there and flip-flop, but I try to build back up to where I'm going with this. If you get on penny stocks, like I said, there's low restrictions on the companies to go public and basically take money from investors to try to grow their company. There's a high risk there, but there is potential high reward. You can buy that stuff for like all the way back at 0.0001 cents. So a thousandth of a penny, you can buy it. But here's where it's addictive. You can put $100 on a thousandth of a penny and get however many shares that is. And then if that shit goes to 1 cent, man, you're loaded. You just turned that $100 into thousands. So it's highly addictive. It's highly fun. So be careful. And let me tell you, people think lawyers are the sharks. No. Day traders, swing traders, and stock investors are the real sharks. They will pump a stock up on the forums. They will tell you, you'll be buddy-buddy with somebody, and they'll be like, yeah, man, we got to buy this stock right here. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. Man, they're about to make some big changes. They will try to get everybody excited and pump that stock and create some buzz around it. Well, as soon as the buzz gets created around that stock, that shit changes 5%. They sell. And then all of a sudden it tanks, and you're still holding your money, and your friend's like, yeah, man, I sold. I got out in time. I made some money. And you're sitting there thinking, man, I'm sitting here, my investment done went down to zero. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, they're sharks. So beware. But the ones that work is the long-term investment. That's the blue chips. That's the ones that's on the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, shit like that. They're established companies. They got high restrictions. When you think about Walmart, that's a good investment. When you think about Apple, Google, those are good investments. But you're not going to make a lot of money on those per se short term. Those are long term. And if you want to, say, put investment in for the next 20, 30 years, I would diversify and put some in Walmart, put some in Bell, big name companies. Especially if you're one to save money, don't let your money sit in a savings account. That's dead weight. That money needs to grow. If you've got the ambition to save up $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in the next couple years, 30 years, you should let that money work for you. So invest it. Put it in an IRA. You can get those. Put it in the IRA. Buy into Walmart. Walmart ain't going nowhere. Let that money that you're putting in your savings account, put it into a stock, a safe one, and let that money work for you. Honestly, if you can put I think I've done the numbers on this, about $3,000 a year into a stock that has an annual growth of 10%, 30 years, you're a millionaire. It's that simple. And that money, it's small compounded interest occurred daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, that grows, it's compound interest. So if you don't know anything about that, read about it. You need to read. If you don't understand anything I'm saying, read about it. Look on on YouTube. Just Google invested. Use keywords that I'm talking about, long-term investing, IRAs, safe stocks, blue chips, pink slips. YouTube them. There's some people out there, they got to be talking about it. So gain some information and update yourself on that. Me personally, I like to go 10%. And before I get on to the next story, I'll tell you this. You hear Golden Child, he promotes a book all the time. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And one of my buddies I just put on to stockbrokering, and he's got his own account now, and he's in it. He's in deep. I'm not saying he's in deep like he done threw a lot of money down, but it's in his brain. He's researching, he's studying. He's like, man, he said, and he told me, he's like, Sammy, man, he said, where I come from, man, you know, nobody in my family talks about this kind of stuff. Nobody has talked to me about this. Nobody has showed me this. I said, brother, me neither. I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, me neither. But as I got older, I started looking, you know, I'm going to have to do some things different from my family if I want to change my family to come. So I got into different things, and it's been one of them. But I put him on a book, and we're driving. You're YouTubing right now. You could be listening to my ass mumble, or you could be listening to something that's really good for you. You could go to The Richest Man in Babylon. Just YouTube it. Put it in the search column. Richest Man of Babylon. I think it's about 4 hours, but that 4 hours will light a fire in you. It's good shit. This is what my buddy told me. And I know you're going to be watching this, Danny. I know you're going to. You're my boy. But he told me, he said, man, he said, thank you for putting me on that book. He said, man, I love that shit. He said, man, he said, I'm thinking about for Christmas, I'm going to buy a lot of these copies and I'm going to give them out for Christmas. And then people are probably going to be looking at me like, what? But seriously, it's that good. I tell you what, go to The Richest Man of Babylon. Listen to the first 15 minutes. If you don't buy into it, cut it off. But give it 15 minutes and see what happens. So, before I put him on, got him up on the stock brokerage. I told him, I said, watch this, man. Listen to this. It's good shit. And he did. And then we met up. And he's like, all right, man, I want you to help me set this brokerage up. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. Okay, I don't know where it cut off, so I'm going to just take off from here. I met up with Danny. And we set him an account up. Actually, he set his account up. I just sat there and I was like, you know, yeah, click this on a couple things. It's pretty easy to set up. Even he now will tell you he was stressing over nothing. It was easy. It's simple. Because I literally helped him like 2%. But I've got a share builder account, sharebuilder.com. I've got a E-Trade account, etrade.com. And I've got a TD Ameritrade account, or just say Ameritrade.com. And my favorite is Ameritrade. I started that with ShareBuilder, and then I wanted to get into the penny stocks, but I couldn't buy penny stocks with ShareBuilder. So I opened up a E-Trade and the Ameritrade. And the Ameritrade to me is more simple, more user-friendly. It's less flashy than E-Trade, but I don't want flashy. I want simple. I know the platform, it's just my preference. E-Trade, ShareBuilder, and there's Scottrade. You can go Scottrade. There's a couple of them. But I use Ameritrade, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Just go to Ameritrade.com and click sign up or register. And you're basically just going to have to put your information in there. And it's going to have to ask you some off-the-wall questions. If you're not an investor, you're probably going to scratch your head and think, what the hell is this? They're going to want to know, how do you intend to use this account? Is it personal? Is it for a business? Well, it's for personal use. So you don't own an investment firm, so it's not for business. They're going to ask you, how do you want to trade? Are you going to do frequently? Are you going to, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to be a day trader, a swing trader, a long-term investment? Swing trade is, let's say day trader. Let's go to day trader. Day trader. A day trader is somebody, they usually have anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 in their account that they play with. They research a stock today, and they buy a stock today. They buy a large quantity, and then when that thing upticks, on average 3%, just 3%, they put a sell order in, and then they sell it. So they have to take that $5,000 to $10,000, make $500 to $1,500 a day, and then they do the same thing again tomorrow. So the guys that's good at that, they're making $500 to $1,500 and more a day just sitting at a computer. It's pretty interesting shit. Swing traders are somebody that'll buy stock on a downtick, and they're going to wait a week, 2 weeks for it to uptick. So they'll buy something, because everything's got an up and down, up and down, up and down. They'll buy it on the low, and then they'll sell it on the high. So they might sit on it a couple of days, they might sit on it a week or 2 weeks. They might sit on it a month. Those are swing traders, they're swinging it. They're buying in low, selling on high. And then you got the long-term investment people, they're just buying up all they can to hold for retirement. So I would educate yourself a little bit on that. Just don't go into it not knowing anything and put a lot of money up. I would suggest spend the first couple of months, put a couple $100s in, spend the first couple of months just getting familiar with it, play around, and if you lose a couple $100, you're not really out that much. But don't put no big money on it. And if you do put big money in, as being an amateur, make sure it's for an established company. Apple, Google, you know, places like that. But if you've made it to the end of this video, when me and Danny started talking about stock, I started looking into it, and we started digging. And I'm going to give you a pick. I'm going to give you a damn pick. I don't see a huge investment, but I see at least a good 4-time turnaround. Like right now, it's like $3, $4. I see it going up to $20 next year or two. And if you hold on to that for the next 10 or 20 years, with inflation and the way things go, it might be a good one to retire with. But that is Celadon. Everybody's like, oh no, Celadon's going bankrupt. Let me tell you something. Celadon has over 3,500 units. 3 weeks ago, a buddy of mine called me up. Said, lease on. Guess who? Celadon. Celadon is still working. They're still working. Celadon is replacing their board members and all that stuff, the management team or whatever. I ain't went that deep into it, but they're replacing it. They're restructuring. And they just happen to be, I don't know what they are today, but the other day they was at $3.60 a share. A couple weeks ago they was down $2 something a share. Now, a company as big as Celadon, they've got 3,500 power units, 3,500 trucks. All right, they're making too much money to go under. They're too big to fail. And the reason why is they're going to have investors come in. And I guarantee you that's what's happening. Investors are going to come in and they're going to turn that company around. You give them a couple years, that $3 share stock is going to be back up to $20. That's my pick. That's my point. I'm going to give it. You watch that video all the way to the end. If you do, take my advice. Listen to the richest man of Babylon. If you do, open you up a stock brokerage account. And you do happen to buy into Celadon, if you lose your ass, don't tell me nothing about it. That's your own damn fault. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think you're going to lose your ass. You might. There's always a risk. There's always a risk. But if you make some money in the next couple of years, you come back to this video, man, give me a thumbs up. And I tell you what, you can buy me a beer as a thank you. That's my pick. You made it this far. Guys, let's start investing. It's just a small percentage daily, weekly, monthly. It's so easy to do, it's easy not to do. So why don't we just start going ahead and invest and quit talking about it? Do it. Your future self will thank you. Talk to you later. See you, bye.